right. Okay. That moves us on then and to our next item. And for now, I'd like to invite up Mr. Vincent Ferreira. He's the Sustainability and Safety and Environment Manager for Tiger Brands Culinary, and he'll be sharing a little bit today around his experience with dealing with energy efficiency. Vincent?
Thank you very much, Kevin. Guys, I think we've got a very nice story to share. But before we get to that, I would like you to get some context of what culinary is. So culinary consumes 152 million cans in 1 year. In 1 year. So that's quite a large number of cans. Our brand, specifically the Koo Baked Beans brand, is 82 years old and still going strong. But we are in a very competitive market, so we had to do something. Now, to bring this to you in more perspective, we manufacture enough baked beans, and I'm going to read this because it's mind-blowing. When you stack it upright to cover twice the service area of Gauteng, which is 18.1 million square meters. So that's the operation of only one of the factories of culinary. Now, we had to do something, and that something came in the name of the NCPC, which have really come to the party and actually shaked us up. So I would like to take you through a journey that we had with them. So now I must just... Okay, so our journey started in 2014, where the NCPC came to site, specifically, more specifically, Boksburg, which is the only manufacturing site for Koo to manufacture the entire country and all exports Koo products, the cans. We manufacture the only manufacturing unit for Cross and Blackbell mayonnaise is at one premises. All Gold tomato sauce is at one premises. Don't believe the advert where they shoot the tomatoes from the farm into the bottle. It's done there in Boksburg, I can guarantee you. And it's the only factory where we do corn. So over a period from October till March, we manufacture an entire year's corn in one place. And it's also the only factory where we bottle our salads, beetroot and stuff. So it's a large factory. So the NCPC came in and they did a quick scan for us. We got the report in 2014. And I must say, and I don't want to excuse myself from this, but I wasn't there yet. And the report was then followed up in 2015 with a very high-level overview of resource consumption, where certain things have been identified. And I think to put it also in perspective, we must remember our engineering teams are geared for making sure our production lines are running. So this is quite a new concept to them at that point of time. But the report was drafted. Certain areas have been selected. There was definitely some large opportunities for that needs to be developed. Focus was on water, energy, and materials. And the veg and salads unit was chosen as the focused area. So why the veg unit and the salads unit? Simply because they are responsible for anything between 73% and 86% of the total revenue of culinary. So, saying that, the report came in, and we had a lot of work to do, and we started really focusing on those areas, and then 2019 came in. So now you might ask me what happened between 2015 and 2019. So we had to consume all those areas that have been identified as opportunities during that period of time, and a lot of work have gone into the operation where our technical and engineering teams have really tried their best to address those shortfalls. We very quickly realized that, and I said it before, that we cannot do it ourselves. So in 2019, the NCPC hosted an RECP program at Tiger Brands at the culinary Boksburg site, where we placed 4 of our employees on the program. That was the expert program. And 2 plants, people from 2 plants have been represented in that process and that program. One from our HPC unit, which is basically a home care and personal care plant, which is in Isandu. They are the ones who's manufacturing Jill shampoo, Comfort cream, Doom, those kinds of products. And our former risk and sustainability director, she also decided to attend. So I think if there's one thing that I can share with you which really works is if you can get your top management people from the start involved so that they understand where it's coming from. Although I can say that Julie understood it actually from the very start, but she was setting the tone for the rest of us. And from that 2019 program, we had the privilege of not only the NCPC doing another report for us as a follow-up on an assessment and a survey, but we also had the opportunity that various other stakeholders who attended the training from other plants, from other companies, we host them because we were the host plant. So we also got their views and their inputs. And then what happened from there? So when the program was done, we now had 4 trained experts in the company. We had a nice engineering department which is quite skilled. But we have a report which didn't look good. And it looks like we've done nothing since 2015. So I'm going to start off with water. So 80% of our product is water. So we started off with mapping. And let me tell you why. Because at that point of time, we're also starting to report on a monthly basis our energy consumption, our water consumption, our waste ton per ton produced, and a whole lot of other reports that we had to complete. But at Culinary Boksburg specifically, because there's 4 different manufacturing units on one premises, with a finished goods warehouse, with a massive amount of site services, which services all these units, which is not directly connected to a specific unit. We had no meter to measure water for the Mayo department. We had no meter to measure the energy consumption for the veg department. So although we calculate this and report it since 2015, we were doing it for the premises, so we could never really identify which area is our problem area. And one of the recommendations from that RECP program in 2019 was that we need to start implementing and installing meters, which we've done. So we've done a water map, we've done an energy map. We now are ready and we know exactly where our problems are. But on the after 6 months, around about there, we saw our problem is not sitting with our Mayo unit. We know that the problem is not sitting with our tomato sauce unit. Our problem sits with the veg unit and the salads unit. Salads unit more specifically because they are a seasonal plant. They only run certain times of the year, so the intensity is high. Veg plant is the biggest manufacturing plant. And when you walk the plant, you already start picking up things that have been identified, water leaks, a massive amount of steam leaks that we had. So we did a deep dive session, but we can't do it ourselves. We might have now trained 4 experts there, and we have a strong relationship with the NCPC. They are busy. As you heard, that they also got only so much capacity. So we outsourced the deep diving session to a consultant, and he came back and he says, if you do A, B, C, D, E, everything that the NCPC said in their report, you might be able to save 86 million rand. Wow, that's a lot of money. Okay, so what we then do is we put together a committee, a water and energy committee, on recommendation from the NCPC, and we start tracking these on a daily basis. So not anymore monthly or weekly, daily tracking, weekly meetings. So now the next thing is we set up a dashboard and we say, this is how your energy usage look like, Mr. X at Mayo plant. And then we start splitting it up. We took it away from the sustainability guys and we hand it over to the process engineers to run it. Why? I think they understand better, they're better equipped, they're better skilled. That's what they've studied for. But someone still had to drive it, and the sustainability and the safety guys and the environmental guys was driving this vigorously. So we made sure that those meetings and those trackings are taking place. More importantly, we put it into the KPIs from shop floor level straight up till the operational director. As a matter of fact, straight up to the CEO. So if the shop floor employee mess up, I'm not going to get a bonus, and then people get upset. So that it's now part and parcel of the life of each employee at Culinary. For that matter, there's 9 other sites which I've not included here, which we've rolled this out as well, and they are tracking quite well. So we didn't just kept it at these sites. So what did this brought us? All of this surveys and the training that we've gone through, it gave us the opportunity for the F22 budget or financially to have an accurate budget to actually see. Now we can say this is what your budget should be for energy consumption in the Meyer unit, in the tomato unit, in the veg unit and salads unit. But we excluded site services, and we excluded it for a very good reason, because it is site services consists of our boiler house, which serves all the units. But we are still tracking that. It excludes your finished goods warehouse because it's not part of the manufacturing unit. So how are you going to measure the intensity of that? So we're still trying to figure that out. So we're not done with the NCPC yet. They must come back and tell us how we do that. All right, but it also gave us the opportunity to identify our focus areas, and we have identified through 23 short-term projects after those deep dive sessions, of which 7 is already completed, and that gives us a saving of 2.1 million already. 11 is in progress and track well to finish in F22, and that will give us another 3.1. And 5 have not started yet. That will give us another 4.5 in return. So in F23, or in F22, we should finish with all 3 projects. That's our plan, and we should have a good return on those. But remember, this is quick wins. This is not the massive CapExes, the 38 millions and the 100 million CapExes. These are the small things which should never have happened. Things like you're walking on the plant and you see that the water pipe is leaking. You see steam leaks, which we all know what's going to happen or what's happening there. it means, wrong equipment, and, wrong spec equipment. So the quick ones, we're busy addressing them and put them to bed. Then, what we've done is, we rank these opportunities from the big ones to the smallest ones, and we're working. So you will see there that we're talking about 8 million rands of saving with potential internal rate return against 15% per annum, 6-year payback. Now, we're going to get to some very interesting data where I will put it into in context. And one of those was, and I specifically showed this to you, is that we had a waste area which was not good. So you must remember, if you're in a manufacturing unit, your waste area plays such a big, important role because it consumes water, it consumes energy, and whatever gets buggered up in the plant goes to the waste area, so you have to remanufacture it. So there's double energy usage, there's double water that you need to use, and that's just crazy. But we couldn't deal with it, and so this is how it looked like before this project. Now, this specific area have also been identified in the NCPC reports. And I think this is the biggest success one for us because this is how it looks now. So we bought a building, we separate it per unit, and what's lovely about this, and I see now that one is gone, but I'll just take it from my head. So immediate savings in that area gives us how much? 6 million rand. Very simple, straightforward. But more importantly, it brought our ton per ton with all these initiatives down from a 0.06 to 0.03. So what we need to also understand here is the fact that we had 2019, our energy consumption was around about 89 with 199,000 tons of product produced. And our water was around about 8.6. In F20, it came down to, and then COVID hit us as well, so we must all remember that. So it went a little bit up. We manufactured around about 179 tons of product, but our energy consumption went up to 92 kilowatt hours per ton produced, and our water was 4.9. So why was the water so much lower? Simply because we manufactured much less, and COVID hit us. In the F21 financial year, and I'm pretty much sure you all know by now, then we had the coup recall, where we literally took back every single can of product produced. Don't ask me the number, it's too large to say. But it's a few million pallets, not cans. So it severely impacted our energy consumption as well as our water consumption. So it was not all just straightforward, very nice and every great story. We had our troubles. But I think if I look at the F22 results currently, and I think that's where the biggest success story lies. We're 6 months down the line. Tiger Brands have announced their financials results, 6 monthly financial results. And I'm very happy to say when I read it, when I was sitting there, our CEO says, groceries have done well. Okay, so that's us. That's me. So, our energy consumption currently sits, and hold your chairs, 89 kilowatt hours per ton produced. Our water sits at 4.6 kiloliters of water used per ton produced. And our waste sits at 0.03. with already in the essence of 18 million rands of saving in the bank. And we could never have done this without the help of the NCPC. So, yeah, it was a journey which was tough, and some of the employees says, wow, what a ride. There was all kinds of other comments they made. But I think the lessons that we need to take from this is that if you put mind to matter and you trust the partners that you're partnering with, and you trust the reports, and you just work a little bit around some of these disadvantages of people that saying that the engineering guys, they are focusing on production, keeping the lines running. So there's some creative reshuffling that you also need to do, which I think worked well for us. I would also be very glad to hear that we actually, currently in Boksburg, the ENMS system is completely implemented. And we've done it without us even knowing about it. So if you know, and I think that's the beautiful story. If you're serious about this, things can happen for you, but you need to drive it. And I think the driving force with the motivation came from the NCPC, and I think on behalf of Tiger, Calendar, we would like to thank you guys for that. I think it was brilliant. So we're not going to stop there, we're just going to continue. Thank you very much.